Hi, Jim Carroll here with some tips on how to set up your tip-ups for ice fishing. First thing you want to do is decide what kind of a tip-up you want to use, and I like a tip-up that has a wide base for bridging holes, especially when I do a lot of pike fishing back in North Dakota in the spring. We really like 10-inch holes because we got big pike. So I like a tip-up that's got this wide base like this Berkley has. Alright, so we'll go through the steps here on how I like to set up one of these tip-ups for ice fishing. First thing we got to do is put some line on it. And I really like vinyl coated tip-up line like this. There's a lot of advantages to it. When you get a big pike takes off on you, you're not going to burn your hands like the standard Dacron will. And it doesn't freeze to the ice, which is real important because sometimes we're fishing in some pretty cold weather and you get a lot of line laying out on the ice, and if you take the old Dacron line, it'll freeze in pretty solid. So I really like and prefer the vinyl coated tip-up line. You can take this line and wrap it right on the spool. You don't need to use backing. If you're going to be fairly close to your tip-ups, if you're going to be further away, you know, where you might get a pike that really takes off on you with a smaller spool like this one, maybe then you might want to add some backing, but for today I'm just going to wrap this right on the spool. And a real simple knot is just take and tie a slip knot, your standard slip knot, and then put another overhand knot on the tag end right on the end of it, and that will keep that slip knot, or keep the tag from pulling through off of the end like so. So we'll just take and wrap that on, cinch it down tight, that'll slip right through to the end. So now we're nice and tight. Alright, we'll just simply wrap it up, wind it on nice and tight, nice and even back and forth. Make your own level wind reel. Right, now we got the spool all filled up with tip-up line here, and the next thing we'll need to do is tie on a snap swivel. And I like a ball bearing snap swivel, a larger one of course, because it's just dealing with the cold and it's just easier to have everything a little bit larger, and it's really not going to matter to the fish at this point because you're going to be putting a leader, you know, underneath it. So a simple little Palomar knot will always work well in this vinyl coated tip-up line. Cinch it down, cut your tag end off. I'm going to show you a walleye rig today. I've been talking about pike, but I'll show you one of my walleye rigs. And what I like to do is I like to use about a 6-foot long leader. It's a fluorocarbon leader, and I keep my leaders in one of these tennis ball containers. So you buy some tennis balls, throw for the Labrador Retriever. Keep the container, get yourself another one, little pool noodle foam the kids use in the summertime in the pools, and take that pool noodle, cut it to length, and then cut some slots all the way around, and that's a really nice easy way to store your leaders. So you just simply grab a pre-tied leader and peel it right off that foam. Keeps everything nice, neat, and organized. Again, this is about a 6-foot long leader. It's made out of, depending on the size of the fish you're after, anywhere between say 6 and 10 pound fluorocarbon. I like the Berkley 100% fluorocarbon, the stuff that's in the gold box. It's a little bit more supple in the wintertime. So I got my swivel tied on here, and I just simply take my leader that's got a barrel swivel tied on the end of it and snap it right on. Now all we have to do is add a weight, and I would use either a split shot like I have here, or sometimes maybe like a rubber core sinker would work as well. Just go ahead and pinch that on the line, say about 8-10 inches above the hook, and we're rigged up for walleyes and ready to go. Alright, we got it all rigged up now. Now we'll take the tip up outside and I'll show you how to put it in the hole. Okay, so you just take one of these nice little plummets, you know, clip it over the top of the treble hook, and go ahead and dump it right down in the hole. It's really cold out here today. It's about 20 below zero, so it's hard to get stuff to go down, but eventually we'll get her to go down. And what I like to do is when that stops and hits bottom, we still got a ways to go here yet. I guess there it was. Reel it up here, get a little bit nicer feel for where the bottom actually is. Okay, where it stops right there, then I'll pick this up, and with this size spool, To set it about 1 foot off the bottom, you want to go about 2.5 turns. So you go 1 turn, you go 2 turns, and you go half turn. Okay, that's your spot, right? Go ahead and pull the line out. And again, this kind of weather is really nice for this vinyl coated tip-up line because it's so cold out here. If I was using some of the Dacron stuff and you laid it on the ice like that, it would just freeze up instantly. Go ahead and grab your minnow. I like to use a little bit larger minnow on my tip-up if at all possible. Take that treble hook and just put that hook in right in front of that dorsal fin. And drop them down the hole. And you're going to have to feed your line down a little bit, and it'll take a while for it to sink. It's a pretty light split shot that's on there. Eventually it'll get there. And then the whole key, of course, is not to move anything here because that's your depth adjustment. Go ahead and clip your flag on. You got 2 settings on this tip up. You've got a side with a notch and you've got a side that's smooth. And for a walleye rig, I like to run it on the smooth side. I'll go ahead and turn my tip ups. The wind's coming this way. I'll put the flag so it's on this side of the spindle so it doesn't get blown off. And then set it in the hole. And that's all there's to it, and you're ready to fish.